guys? Welcome back to another episode of the Daniel Federico Show. Today we're going to be talking about, the World Cup's coming up. We're going to be talking about Team Canada. I'm here with Kobe. Kobe, how you doing today, buddy?
Feels good, feels good. I'm really happy to be here with you today. My former roommate, though,
Yeah,
I had a great time with at Mohawk College, though.
yeah, man. Former roommates. Now we're here talking about some soccer. We're going to be talking about Team Canada today as they're in Group B. But it's also your birthday. Happy birthday,
Yeah,
Kobe.
thank you so much. Yeah, what a day to spend with you.
Damn right, bro. I appreciate that.
Yeah,
How's the
fun.
year been going on, though? How is Mohawk?
Mohawk's been pretty good though. So far the classes are getting even tougher though. We had a very eventful year though. Shea Gilgeous-Alexander was actually at Mohawk College in September though. So it was great to see NBA Finals MVP at the school.
Yeah, the league MVP too. Shea, SGA. What are you guys working on at Mohawk?
So far, we just finished mini docs
How did that
and
go? What mini doc did you do? The basketball player, right?
yeah, Iverson Chonga. It went all right. Didn't really go the way I wanted, but
Yeah. Is it finished?
yeah, it's finished.
Yeah. After this, send it to me. I want to watch that.
Sure. It's not really the greatest though, but I'll send it to you.
Yeah, I would like to see that. But let's get into Team Canada. World Cup's right around the corner. Team Canada's in a tough group. They have to play, so they're in Group B for people that didn't know. They're gonna have to play the winner of playoff path A. That could either be Italy, Northern Ireland, or Wales. And if it is Italy, that's gonna be awesome because the first game of that group is in Toronto at BMO Field. The rest of the two matches and the rest of the group is Qatar and Switzerland. Canada's path to make it out and hopefully win their first ever game at the World Cup is tough. Kobe, tell me a little bit about it. What do you think has to go right for Canada to make it out of the group stage?
Well, for example, though, the World Cup, though, I kind of just want June to kind of come fast, though. This is it's amazing how we're hosting biggest football tournament in the world. I'm trying to go to one of their games though because you know,
Pricey.
yeah, it's pricey though, but it's a work though. But
Mhm.
just looking at Canada's group stage though, I think they shouldn't have any excuses not getting out of that group though, because you're facing against Qatar and again with the last World Cup though, Qatar wasn't really the greatest though. They had 0 points though, and they're at the bottom of the group though. So you have them. Switzerland, don't really see them as a big threat though. So I think Canada should be able to handle Switzerland though. But when it comes to playoffs, though, when it's Italy, Northern Ireland, Wales, and who else,
There's
is
two more. I forget the countries. There should be two more countries in there, but it's most likely going to come down to Northern Ireland, Wales, and Italy. Those three countries, without a doubt. But yeah, there's two other countries. I forget their names.
yeah, I definitely do really want Italy to go through though, because I think Italy, like they haven't made it to the World Cup since 2014 though, and I think
Yeah,
I would love to see a Canada versus Italy game though, because I think it'll be a great test for Canada. And I think it should be a great test for them. And I don't think they should have any excuses getting out of that group stage.
yeah. I think this is if there was any time to make it out of the group stage for Canada, it would be this World Cup, especially hosting
Yeah.
Italy, Wales, or Northern Ireland. If it's one of those three, that's going to be a massive test no matter what for Team Canada.
Hmm.
Qatar, I think Canada could take Qatar.
Yeah.
Switzerland is probably going to be the biggest test in that group because they are the strongest out of the three, I would say. But at the same time, though, Canada, they've looked really sharp over the past, since the last World Cup, and they've gotten even stronger. What I do think, though, it's going to come down to how fit one of those playoff teams are, how fit and form they are, especially how formed Team Canada is. The good part is that Alphonso Davies is finally back on the field. He played in the Champions League. He played 20 minutes there in Champions League last week. Alphonso Davies played, and he also played 30 minutes in the Bundesliga action for Bayern Munich over the weekend. So that's great to see Canada's best player getting back into form. But the greatest thing is this is in June. This tournament is in June. Who do you think is going to be out of that group? Do you think Switzerland is going to be the biggest threat?
Personally, I like just look at the last World Cup though, Switzerland though, they weren't really the biggest threats though, they lost 6-1 against Portugal in the round of 16 though. So I don't really see them as the biggest threat though to Canada. Uh, I'll say possibly Italy if hopefully they do make it into a group stage though. I think Italy would be a biggest threat for them because I don't really see the other two teams as a threat though. Wales though, your former captain Gareth Bale, he retired, so you lost him. Northern Ireland though, I don't see them as a threat, but I do see Italy as the biggest threat to Canada because you have a football giant that's
Yeah.
Italy come in though, and you have a great goalkeeper. So I think I think Italy will be a great biggest threat to them.
Yeah, I think it's whoever comes out of that playoff will be the biggest threat, but I think Switzerland is still up there. Like, it's actually whatever. Northern Ireland is a good country still. Um, Same with Wales. Italy though, if Italy makes it, that'll be the biggest threat because they are a giant, but they haven't really played good in the international stage since 2014. No, actually, that's a lie. They played good in the Euros. And that's when everyone thought they would come back and bring it back, but who knows?
But
They've really been, yeah,
The Euros is different than the World Cup though, because the
yeah,
Euros you're facing against people who are like the same continent as you, but the World Cup though, you're facing against South American teams, Central American teams, African teams, Asian teams though. So
yeah. It's the world. It is for sure tougher, but Euros is the biggest and the hardest competition to win besides the World Cup. And Italy did that. People thought they were going to come back into form, but since then they've just been playing inconsistent football as a start. But take a nice little deep dive, not a deep dive, but let's take a little look into Team Canada's projected roster. So there's a couple players that have already been locked into Team Canada's roster, already into their starting lineup. Jonathan David playing pretty good right now for Juventus. Alphonso Davies, Richie Lorea, Estacchio, Tejan Buchanan, Alistair Johnston, Bombito, and I don't know if I missed anyone else, but I'm pretty sure those are all the guys that have been locked in. Another player that has not, they haven't even named who's going to be the starting goalie. We won't find that out until probably a week before their first match. But I think it's going to be St. Clair being the starting goalkeeper. What do you think about those guys that have already been locked in?
I think those guys who've been locked in, though, I think they bring a great depth to Canada, though, especially Alfonso Davis, though, a rising Canadian star, though, great center back, though. I wouldn't be surprised, though, if he was to be captain, though, because I think in the 2022 World Cup, though, it was more of an experiment, though, for Canada, though, because we weren't exactly, well, we were happy, though, that we qualified for the World Cup, though, but we weren't exactly ready for that stage yet.
Yeah.
We lost to Croatia 4-1. We actually, pushed Belgium to a good game though, 1-0 though. And Alfonso Davies missed that penalty though, but he went up against Courtois. So there's that. But I think they've learned from what happened 4 years ago. And now they're with the fresh mindset. They have a new coach. I think they all know what they have to do though. You're playing in front of home fans. This is the once in a lifetime where three countries, specifically your country, is hosting it, though. So I think all of the players you named, though, they bring a good depth to, this team, though, in this field.
Yeah, changing. So ever since they changed managers, it seems like he has a really good point of view on how this team should be constructed, and most certainly doing that because they were just in the Copa 2 summer ago or 2 summers ago, and they looked pretty solid in that competition, and he's doing a good job. But let's take a look back at their games for a second. So their first match is going to be played at BMO Field. BMO Field, that's going to be electrifying. Then they play the next two games against Qatar and Switzerland at Vancouver Place in BC. In Vancouver. those are two matchups that are gonna like those are two matchups in Vancouver that are gonna be, stellar. Do you think with this roster constructed, and let's say St. Clair is the goalie or Cray Pro, do you think this team has a chance if they do make it and win those two matches, make it out of the knockouts, make it to the knockout stage? You think they can win a knockout stage game?
Uh, Personally, I think they can because we saw in Copa though how they were able to win games and stuff. But when it comes to who they face in knockout stage though, uh, who from like would they face anyone from Group C though, or would they personally like face whoever?
It would probably be group. So they're Group B. I don't know how the knockout stages would work with, with an extra because it's such a big tournament now. It's 48 teams.
Yeah.
I think it would be Group because it's either Group A. I'll actually let me search that up quickly. How is the knockout stages going to work um in the World Cup this year? But I want to say it could be either Group A that they would have to play. But let me check. One sec.
Yeah, like I personally think that this team is I think they are well constructed though, and I think especially the Toronto game though, I think Toronto's gonna be flooded and stuff. You're gonna have a lot of fans everywhere in Canada just coming and just celebrating Canada's game. Well, I don't know if I think soccer is becoming Canada's game though because we just I think we're just growing with this sport and stuff. I don't think it's going to be hockey anymore in the next 5 to 10 years, though.
Yeah, so it would be, yep. So it would be the top of Group A versus the second of Group B, then the
Yeah,
top of Group B versus the second of Group A. So yeah, they'd be playing Group A. That's a
yeah,
tough group that they would be playing too.
yeah,
Um, but yeah, so like after hearing that,
yeah.
you think they have a chance? Because I think they're either gonna finish because it's top two teams in each group that will advance now because it's expanded knockout stages now.
And the third team, I think some best third teams they do make it out of they
Yeah,
do.
yeah, those are more of the wild card. Just this whole thing that has actually been throwing off me, and I think I've thrown off a lot of people, is with the expansion to the World Cup this year. With what is it, 48 teams, and in the World Cup now, it's been throwing up because it used to just be so. It used to everything used to be so much easier. It used to be the top two teams. Now you got a couple wild card spots at the third, with a 32 expanded knockout round.
Yeah, I actually do like the 48 teams though
Yeah,
because
I love it. I love it. The more the countries, the better too. It's just, it's the first time they're doing it,
yeah,
growing
no
up.
one gets excluded though. So you have
Yeah.
teams who've never been to a World Cup before though and are getting a chance though, and I think it's great though. But back to your question about like can they win a knockout stage? Well, you look at Group A though. Group A is South Korea, Mexico, and South Africa.
hmm
Could I see Canada beating Mexico? Well, you
They also have a playoff team in there too. I forget those
oh
countries that they would play, but yeah, it would be Mexico, South of Africa, and South Korea. You're right. Okay, go
yeah.
on.
Uh well, I think they could probably push Mexico to the limits though. They're both host
But they,
countries.
they would not. I don't think they would play Mexico. I don't think
Uh,
they would. I think it's honest to God. Like I think this could be a bad take right here. This could be a bad take or a really good take. I think it's gonna be South Korea or South Africa take the top two spots in that group. That could
mm,
be a bad take, but that's my take.
I mean, I guess uh I think Canada might win at least one
Yeah.
knockout round. Yeah, I
Yeah, I
don't
think I think I think I think that's a really good take. I think they'll do that also, man. Like, this Team Canada roster is not bad. It just depends on who can really stay in the form when June comes across. Um, like there's already a lot of guys that are already like there's a lot of guys. So the MLS season's done. They're in an
yeah.
off season. So when their season comes back, a lot of them could be out of form.
Mm,
When the World Cup starts, other leagues seasons have already ended. It has been ended probably for a month or probably 2 weeks. So they're still going to be in form. A
Mhm.
lot of these guys that they're going to be taking from the MLS. Well, there's actually not a lot of guys. I think there's two guys or three guys that they might take. Well, actually, it might be a lot. So it's still probably going to be a lot of guys from the Major League Soccer. They're coming in probably mid form, not really in the top form, a little rusty. When you have these other countries, their seasons end like in late May.
Yeah, like Premier Leagues and
Yeah, like the Premier League, those top leagues end in like late May, early, like middle of May. And then World Cup starts probably what, 3 weeks later.
yeah.
When the MLS, well, they'll have training camp and stuff like that to get them back in the form and stuff like that. But, when you're playing big soccer games all the way up until May, is a lot different than a lot of the Canadian players that are going to be playing mid-level soccer like the first week of the MLS season, the first couple weeks of the MLS season. What else? The training camp. That's a big difference when half of these countries and half of these stars have been playing high competitive soccer all the way until 3 weeks before the World Cup starts. That's a difference right there because they're in top form. But Team Canada, on the other hand, now this roster, a lot of them are playing very top level, playing in top leagues. Like Alphonso Davies and Jonathan. Jonathan David's playing for Juventus. That's
Yeah.
probably the biggest club on that a Canadian player is playing for. Like you
Yeah.
could probably,
Bayern Munich though
yeah,
is
and Bayern Munich. You could make a debate on like which one's the bigger club, but I gotta think Juventus is bigger than Bayern Munich.
Mhm.
Depending on where you look at it, I think I do say it because I'm Italian,
Yeah.
so I
I
think I
would
say yeah. So I think it all depends. But overall, this roster is good enough to win a game because first, yeah, this they got a pretty good group. They got a pretty solid group to win it.
Mhm.
Switzerland though is going to be a test. That playoff path A team, if it's Wales, Northern Ireland, or Italy, that's going to be a massive test. The only team that I don't think will be a test is Qatar.
Yeah, of course.
And
We've
I
seen
think, and that's fair, right? That's fair to fair to say. It's not fair to the people from Qatar, but it's fair for our point of view here.
Mhm.
And if they do win a game, so that's the first mission. That's the first thing on the checklist because they haven't won a World Cup game ever.
Yeah.
That's the first on the checklist is to win a game. I
Yeah.
think they can do it with this roster, and I think they're gonna do it this year. And to score more than one goal in the World Cup because that's they just scored their first World Cup goal. Alphonso Davies scored
Mhm.
in what last World Cup.
Yeah.
But there's also let's go. We're also going to look back on this roster right now. So we talked about the guys that are already locked in.
Mhm.
Who's going to play alongside Jonathan David? I think it's going to be Tanny. I'm going to botch his name a little bit. Oluse. I think he's going to play right alongside Jonathan David. He's
Uh-huh.
right. People are. I know TSN is saying that he is going to be probably most likely because he's the one in form. He's played. He had such a great season. He's having a great season. He's going to play alongside Jonathan David. He's young. He's skillful. Is that who you think too, or who do you think? Or is it going to be the David and David?
Uh, I think probably two can work along Jonathan Davis. Probably Buchanan though. I really like his game though. He's very
Well, yeah,
skilled.
Buchanan's for sure starting, but he's more likely probably going to be on the wing. But who do you think is going to start up front with Jonathan David? Or do you think it's just going to be Jonathan David? They're going to solo it?
I don't know if soloing it for Jonathan David is a good idea though. He needs to have someone at least with him to
Yeah, who do you think that's going to be? Do you think that's going to be Tani Osule? Oluse, or whatever his name is? I'm so sorry for botching it, but it's tough.
I think it's probably gonna be him though. You have to have another superstar. Well, not superstar, but you need another like forward with him up
Yeah.
because
And I
I
know,
don't
I know, I know a lot of people are forgetting about Laren, but he's just not been in form this year. He's been inconsistent. I think he's played 24 total minutes since the month of November. If he gets back into form, he can easily take that, second spot, striker spot, up top with Jonathan David. But man, this is a good, deep, deep roster. The midfield is probably already locked with Alphonso Davies. Um, Estaku, Buchanan, like that midfield's good. I think Cohen's going to be next. He's just probably going to start because he's been great. That defensive line is all right. Like that defense is starting to build its own with
Yeah.
Bombito, Alistair Johnston.
Yeah. Goalkeeper is a little bit concerning with Canada though.
Exactly, right? Because man, you have like I think it's good to be St. Clair to be the starter because Pro had he lost his starting job twice this MLS season. Or he was scared of losing his MLS starting job twice this year. I'm pretty sure he lost it once, he regained it, and then there was a fear that he was going to lose it a second time when the season ended. I think it's going to be who do you think is going to be the starter?
That's hard though, like just Canada though, when it comes to goaltending though, goalkeeper though, we just aren't really the best. I feel like we should have other options though, but I really do like Maxine. Can't really pronounce his last name though,
Pray
but
Pro?
Ken Pro. I think he should be a great starter for Canada though. I think he has a lot of experience though. He did play 15 matches though for the MLSC for the Portland Timbers.
Yeah.
Just hoping that he can bring some experiences though to this Canadian team though and squad. And
Yeah, he for sure has the most experience, especially on the squad. You know, he was the starting keeper in the Copa with but yeah, but it's gonna depend on who's gonna be better in training camp.
yeah,
Because man, like he looked out of form at times in the MLS this year. Um, but you know he lost his job, he regained it. Still wasn't playing good. He was honestly, the truth was, at some moments in the MLS this season, it looked like he was drunk out there. Um, but St. Clair though looked like he looks like a lot of he looks like a sharper goalie. That's what I should say. He looks like a sharper goalie. He looks like he's ready to take over that net. But it's not going to be easy because you know you are playing against a more experienced goalie that at the end of the day has the heart of all of Canada still. Um, and it's honestly Cray Pro's job to lose.
yeah, especially in the World Cup though. A lot of goalkeepers and especially players though they have ups and downs, like they have slumps and stuff. And I think the World Cup though this is the time where there's no excuses to be slacking off and to have excuses though. You can't be just letting in 4 goals in the first half though, and you can't be just in the second half though, just be you know like letting another goals and stuff in. So hopefully he can train harder till June because he has a lot of time though left and the last season stopped. So hopefully he can get ready though, stay sharp though, and hopefully shut the door though for Canada though.
Yeah, I think that's a good take right there. It's gonna be an entertaining summer. That's for sure it. It's gonna be entertaining. And honestly, if Italy can make the World Cup and win the playoff, and Team Canada is also in it, and they're in the same group, you're gonna see a lot of Italians at BMO Field on that day one match. But let's
Would you
take
be there? Would you probably be there with your Italian side or Canada or
You know what? So like I've actually, you know, that's a good question. You know, you know, big Italian, me. But man, like just being a Canadian, man, I'm born and raised here. Like, I am Canadian. I'd probably cheer for Canada, you know? I'd
would
probably
your
cheer
Italian
for
side, would your Italian side be hurting that like I don't want Italy, I want Italy to win or
Oh yeah, so my Nona and my Nona and you know yeah my Italian side they'd for sure be cheering against Canada, but at the same time they're probably actually not against Canada. They'll probably be honestly, if that game ends in a 0-0 draw, I don't think anybody is going to be mad or upset because man, if you know about it, like a lot of Italians come to Canada. They had a better life to come to Canada. So they actually I've talked to my Nona about it. I've talked to a bunch of Italians about it. They're pumped. They hope they play Canada. Because that's going to just be an awesome day for literally Canada. If Italy and Canada play off in the World Cup, that's going to be a remarkable day for Canada. And you know, the people that have moved from Italy to Canada and for a better life and stuff like that. That's going to be a tremendous day for Canada. And it's going to be awesome to see. But for that question, yeah, man, they obviously want Italy to win. But they also think it's very cool that Canada is in the World Cup. And, they're cheering for, the country that brought them in and they created their families here and their homes here. So, you know what? I don't think they'll be mad if Italy loses this one. They'll be pumped up if Italy wins no matter what. I think they're going to be pumped up on whoever wins the game. But Italy better win the next two games and make it to the knockout stage. That's literally how it's going to go. But if Canada wins that one, I think the whole country is still going to be okay and still be happy. If Italy wins, you already know half the country's already gonna be happy.
Yeah, I just don't want Italy to be a football giant country though, to be the laughing stock of football though. You won the
Yeah.
Euros in 2020 though, and you can't make the World Cup though. It's just kind of
Yeah,
like
it's been tough. They couldn't make the World Cup for two World Cups now. Um, or yeah, they haven't made the World Cup. Yeah, they haven't made the World Cup in two World Cups. It's their third time. If they miss out on the World Cup three straight World Cups, that's just embarrassing. And then Euros, what, in 2 years or a year and a half later? Because their last Euros weren't good. It wasn't good. It was not good. It wasn't a good matchup for them. Good competition for them. Um, but the World Cup though, it's a different stage, bigger stage, massive stage. You got you got 48 powerful countries.
mhm. Yeah,
All of them, I would say, not all of them could win it, but just them being like, all those 48 countries take pride on being in part of the World Cup.
yeah, and
That's
also
gonna be awesome.
yeah, and also be like the last time we see a lot of these superstars playing though. We have Messi, Ronaldo. Ronaldo would be 41 though, so it's gonna
Yeah,
be
so Ronaldo's already made a statement that this is gonna be his final World Cup.
Yeah, we're witnessing the last of greatness though, and
Yeah.
I don't know about Messi though. He'll be 30. I think he's 38 now.
Yeah, Messi will play though. I'm pretty sure Messi would play for one more World Cup. But like he doesn't have to. He already won his World Cup. He's already won it all. He's won a bunch of Copas.
I mean, he maybe wants another one, another
Yeah. Oh
glory.
yeah, but he doesn't have to. If he doesn't want to, he doesn't have to. But man, it would be awesome to see him and Ronaldo on the big stage for one final time. Maybe Ronaldo wins it. That'd be the perfect send off for Ronaldo's career. But I don't know, man. That Portugal team is not as strong as people actually think, and that's my take. That Argentina squad is still scary. That squad is still good. And Messi is still an efficient passer. He's an efficient playmaker. Ronaldo needs playmakers beside him because he's the goal scorer. He's the golden foot kid. Portugal, Argentina, they see each other in the World Cup, the whole world is gonna stop. If you see Messi versus Ronaldo and against each other in the World Cup in a knockout stage,
Uh,
the whole world's gonna pause for 90 minutes.
yeah, that'll be like a prime time, event though. I hope we see that though.
Yeah, it would be awesome. What team do you? So I know we were going to talk about Mexico and the U.S., but let's talk about what you most want to see. What country do you want to see succeed in this tournament?
Well, Daniel, I'm originally from Ghana, and the group stage we're in is it's a pretty. I feel like every World Cup we're always placed in the hardest group stage. We're with the football giants England,
Yeah.
Croatia, and Panama. Not too concerned about Panama. England though, it's like, well, we have the creators of football and stuff who are in the same group as. You have all these players from the Premier League who are just going to be on this English squad.
Yeah,
Harry,
England's good. I think England is gonna probably win that group. It's gonna be them or Croatia because Croatia's still good too.
I mean, Luka Modric, though, he's 41, though. So, maybe
Yeah,
his game is sliding off a bit.
but I'm
So,
saying they got young talent there so that's gonna be good. But Ghana, man, do you think Ghana can squeeze their way in?
we have Mohamed Kudus, though, who's been leading us, though. And the last World Cup, though, he played amazing, though. He scored a brace against South Korea, though. So, I want to see them succeed, though, because I feel like every World Cup, though, when we play, we don't really succeed as well. So, I want to see them succeed. Mostly a bit of bias, but
Does Ghana have a game in Canada, or are they just strictly playing on
yeah,
state?
they're actually playing against Panama on June 17th in Toronto. I'm
That's
trying to
gonna be
go.
awesome.
I'm trying to go
Yeah.
to that game though. We have a big Ghanaian community there, so hopefully I save up a lot of money and
Yeah, you're gonna
hopefully,
have to save up. You're gonna probably have to. You might have to sell a limb or something, man. Because
yeah,
man, those ticket prices are ridiculous.
yeah, it's crazy high though. It's crazy high though, but
I've never. I'm so stunned on how high the ticket prices are because people are actually out. Like people are pissed off about these ticket prices on the internet, it makes a lot of sense. One game that I was looking at, I think it was. Trying to think of what game I was looking at just for fun. It was one of the games in Toronto. I forget what it was, but it was like for the worst seat in the house, it's like $1,000 or something like that. And I go, man, this game was created, to be affordable to go watch. And then, FIFA, they're all,
yeah, they're all about,
yeah, it's just like look at the draw.
yeah.
Look at that draw. That whole show was ridiculous. Just I didn't care for anything in that show where they did the draw, then out of the pots and it picked the groups.
Yeah, you mostly cared about like the draws and pick out the pots, right?
Yeah, I just wanted to draw. I didn't care about the singers. I didn't care about Kevin Hart being, the mediator or whatever it's called. I didn't care about him being the host. I didn't care about any of that. I did find it cool that Wayne Gretzky was, picking one of them, picking the pot. He was one of the pickers. Same with Aaron Judge, Shaq, and Tom Brady. That's pretty cool. But that's if you think about it, damn near. That's awesome. That's cool right there. But that's the only thing I cared about. But
Yeah,
the whole thing, like doing the
yeah.
FIFA,
That was just a waste of time though. We
yeah,
don't.
it was just because if you have a chance to make something spectacular, FIFA's going to make it spectacular. And I respect FIFA a lot. I just don't respect how much money they put these ticket prices at. And the people that are reselling the tickets, my God, get out of here. Those guys are those guys are scammers. They're selling the worst games ever for like $5,000. It's like, bro, you know what? I can watch the game with the boys in a backyard and it's going to be probably 10 times better anyways.
Or you could watch it in a bar though with a bunch of people though. So
Exactly. Like I'll probably there's gonna be like so Toronto's gonna be bumping. So like if Italy does make it out of that playoff, um, if Italy does make it out of that playoff, and it's Canada versus Italy in the first game because it is, and hopefully it will be. Me and a bunch of guys are gonna have to go to Toronto and just watch the game in a bar. Just
yeah,
because that feeling in Toronto that day is gonna be probably it's gonna be unique. It's gonna be a unique feeling that you're only gonna feel probably once in your lifetime. Italy versus Canada. That's gonna be awesome. That's just gonna be trying. Like it doesn't even matter, honestly. The one thing is with these competitions that what I think I missed out on for the last World Cup was, you know, it was in the winter.
yeah,
The best thing about these competitions being in the summer is that all our buddies get together, we watch it in someone's backyard or we watch it inside someone's house. It's a beautiful day outside and you're just enjoying the greatest game on earth. Soccer in Canada, football everywhere else, everywhere else. That's what it's called. And the best thing too was the best memories that I think I have as just being a soccer fan is that Euro run with Italy going all the way to the finals. Every single match, me and my buddies are watching. It's COVID too. Everyone got to forget about that. It's COVID here in Canada. We're not in lockdown like crazy lockdown, but at the same time though, restaurants are not open like how they are now. Bars are not open like how they are now. Um, and stuff like that. So we had to go to someone's house. The one time it was like the 80th minute. I think Italy is up just one goal. I forget what team they were playing, but they were pouncing on that on opportunity. It was just a group stage match. And the Euros, and they were just pouncing on opportunities. Like they were pressuring Canada. It started downpouring in my backyard. We had a force. It was the craziest thing is that we have a TV out there, and it was just downpouring. The worst thing ever. All the boys are under like this. What's it called? I forget. Like a hut and trying to keep the TV dry and stuff like that. So obviously it doesn't break, and it's just like it was like 12 guys just around watching Italy. Hopefully they win. It was unreal moments like that. And then, oops, clicked mute on that for a second. Um, but then the finals, the penalty shootout, the most stressful time. A bunch of the guys were at my house watching that. And then, do you know Clifton Hill, Niagara Falls?
Yeah, at the hotel, I think.
The Clifton Hill. It's like a whole. It's like a bunch of like arcades and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah, I think I've seen that place
Yeah.
before.
So yeah, man. So I live in Niagara Falls for people that don't know that. That Clifton Hill that day was just unreal. Just unreal. And people were talking about that. I was young when Italy won the World Cup. And I was very young when they won it in '06.
Hmm. Yeah.
Um, so people were telling me Clifton Hill was 10 times unreal than it was when they won the Euros. If Italy or Canada, like if Canada ever wins the World Cup,
Yeah.
the country might blow up. But
Yeah.
if I could ever witness Italy winning the World Cup ever again, that'd be a top five moment. Because I already witnessed them winning the Euros. That's just gonna be awesome. That's just gonna be awesome to see. But yeah, man, those are the memories that these type of tournaments bring people.
Yeah,
Just
it
mad.
brings community and family and just time to just celebrate a great sports history that
Yeah,
happens every 4 years, once every 4 years though.
yeah. And that's the greatest thing is too, is because if you're working a job anywhere you're working. I want people to know if they're gonna hire me, I will be calling in sick to watch the games. Unless I'm working for a sports company, I can just watch the game right there. That would be sweet. That's a dream right there. But man, the World Cup happens once every 4 years.
I wouldn't
Euros
be
happen.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if people in Toronto were to like when the Raptors parade happened though, a lot of people were calling sick for school though. I wouldn't be surprised if people were skipping school, skipping jobs, or even skipping their wedding to see this World Cup though, because this is just a great.
Skipping the wedding, yeah, man. If anybody has a wedding in Canada in the World Cup, what are you doing?
I mean, you could get married anytime though,
I
so
know, but I'm saying like, yeah, man, you can get married anytime in this world, but do not get married this summer if you're, you know, a Canadian. I'm sorry. If I get invited to a wedding, attending that.
yeah.
Send you a gift in the mail. I'm not attending no World Cup. Um, no World Cup wedding.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
not doing that. But man, the World Cup kicks off in Canada, Mexico, and the United States.
Hmm.
Three great countries to host,
Hmm.
especially the States. They playing, it's gonna be awesome seeing games be played at like AT&T Stadium, like where the
Hmm.
Dallas Cowboys play. 'Cause I'm a Dallas Cowboys fan. It's gonna be awesome seeing games be played there. It's gonna be awesome seeing games be played in Mexico and Canada. I'm very pumped to see the games be played at BMO Field. I know they're converting the stadium into uh, some extra seating. It's just gonna be awesome. It's gonna be tremendous. It's gonna be the country's gonna be buzzing. Um, but yeah, and nerves are gonna be there too. But I think this is gonna be one of the best World Cups people will remember for a long time, I think.
Yeah, I think people have been waiting for this like since 2018 though, when it was announced that Canada, Mexico, and US are going to be hosting it though. I think this is a World Cup where everybody's just included though and nobody's left out though. I think it's going to be where a lot of teams are going to be learning their lesson from 4 years ago, especially Canada though, where they're like their former manager, John Hedman though, who is not a coach anymore though, had
Yeah.
said I think this is just a learning lesson for us though. So we just have to remember in 2026 to be better though. And hey, 4 years have passed by though, and Alfonso Davies though, he's I
Matured
think
as a player.
yeah, I like would you say that like he's gonna be carrying the whole load of Canada if he is named captain though, or you know, uh
To be honest, man, like if I'm a player and I'm in Alfonso's shoes, I would love to be named captain, be the leader of Canada. But whoever they give it to, it's probably good. It's most likely going to be John. It's most likely going to be Alfonso Davies. But Holden, yeah, you are putting the country on your back when you're captain. That's for any captain, for any country, for any team, putting the country on your back. Like England, if you're named captain for England, you got a lot of people. You got the media, you got everyone on your back. Same for being the captain of Portugal, Argentina, all these big countries. You are putting the country on your back being named captain. And that's a thing that you got to take as, you know, as a compliment. Be a named captain. They should see you as the biggest leader.
Yeah,
I
they
know
see you
when
alpha.
I what's up?
They see you as like the alpha though to like take them to that promised land though. Like, oh, we're giving you the captaincy though because we think that you're the vocal in the room though. We trust that you can.
Yeah, the leader. So like when you name the captain, it's you don't have to be, the most you don't have to be the player that's going to score 55 goals. It's just who's going to keep these guys glued in, who's going to keep these guys locked in, who's going to keep these guys accountable, and who's going to be the people that come to for answers while they're on that pitch. And
Mhm,
that's going to be Alfonso. That's the leader that you want. That's the captain that you want. That's going to be Alfonso Davies. And that's the most perfect thing. Because when I coach American football, I find my captains on who's going to be the leaders, who's going to keep the boys locked in, and who's going to be, the vocal point for when the coaches don't have to speak. And that's Alfonso Davies. And that's for any captain. And I think for Team Canada, they have a perfect one in Alfonso Davies. If it,
mhm,
if it does be named him to be, captain
mhm.
for the World Cup.
And there is another match that I am very excited for. Is definitely the Americans though. Kristen Pulisic though.
Yeah,
You know,
Christian Pulisic. That's gonna be
Captain
good.
America, though, I'm looking forward to US versus Australia though. I wish I did. I was hoping that England was going to be drawn into the same group stage as US though, because we saw in the second World Cup, the
Yeah.
last World Cup in 2022 though, where they, no offense though, but it was a pretty boring game between US and England though. You're watching a match though to see a bunch of goals and just a
Yeah, and
lot
you
of.
and you end up just yeah, and there ends up being nothing. It ends up
Yeah.
being
I personally don't want to see a World Cup like this World Cup. I don't want to see any 0-0. I don't want to see any, I personally don't want to see any draws and stuff. I just want to see a lot of wins and a lot of goal scoring because that's,
you're not a big defensive guy, eh? You're not a big defensive guy.
I mean, I do like defense though at the end of the game though. But personally, when it's the 0-0 game, it's like, come on, we just wasted like 2 hours of our day to watch you guys.
Unless it's a defensive or goalkeeping masterclass, I'm okay with these games ending in 0-0 draws. The one thing I don't want to end is if the possession is, 50-50, one shot for each team and it ends 0-0. Just a boring match along.
I
But
mean,
if it's an entertaining 0-0, I'll take that.
I mean, well, possession really like I wouldn't really say possession really matters and stuff though. It's about kind of like how many shots were you able to get on the goalie and stuff. Like,
Yeah,
yeah,
so yeah, it's like I'd say there's like one shot for each team, for two shots throughout the whole game. Yeah, it like you want an if there is a draw, you want an entertaining one. You want an entertaining draw.
I mean, yeah, but I personally just kind of want to see a lot of wins and stuff and a lot of goals scored though.
Yeah, that's fair, man. You want to see an entertaining tournament. Show as everyone else wants to see an entertaining tournament. It's going to be a great tournament. Kobe, you're 22 years old. Thank you for coming on, brother, and happy birthday. And
Thank you
thank you
so
for
much.
coming to chat some soccer with me. Any last words you want to say to the people?
Honestly, just I just want 2026 to come soon though. I want June to come soon though. I know it's winter time though, but I just kind of want summer to come
You
around.
want summertime to come. The best season is summertime. That's Kobe. I'm Daniel. This has been the Daniel Federico Show. Ciao, guys.
Thank you guys. Thank you so much.